The courtroom went completely silent the moment the quiet single father pulled an old military duffel bag onto the table. Judge Judy hadn't even asked her first question yet. 30 seconds later, the man unzipped the bag, and everyone realized this case was never about a damaged pickup truck. It was about a secret someone had spent 12 years trying to erase. If fairness still means something to you, you're in the right place. Tell us where you're watching from, and let's step inside one unforgettable courtroom. By the time the cameras began rolling, the plaintiff already looked confident. Trevor Maddox leaned back in his chair with the relaxed smile of a man who believed he'd already won. His suit fit perfectly, his watch probably cost more than most used cars, and he wasn't nervous. He was irritated. Beside him sat his attorney, whispering calmly while organizing neatly labeled folders. Across the courtroom sat a man who couldn't have looked more different. Daniel Harper wore faded jeans, worn work boots, and a simple blue button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled to his forearms. He looked exhausted, not careless, just tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. At his feet rested a weathered military duffel bag. He never took his hand off it. Judge Judy noticed immediately. She noticed everything. She walked in, took her seat, adjusted her glasses, and scanned both sides without saying a word. Silence settled over the room. Then she spoke. "Who's suing whom?" Trevor stood. "Your Honor, Mr. Harper destroyed my custom pickup truck while driving recklessly through my private construction site." "How much are you asking for?" $24,000. She glanced toward Daniel. "Your response?" "I didn't damage his truck," Daniel said, his voice calm. Trevor laughed softly. "There are photographs." "There usually are," Judge Judy said, unimpressed. A few people in the audience chuckled. Trevor stopped smiling. The bailiff handed Judge Judy several printed photographs. A black luxury pickup rested against broken concrete barriers, the front bumper crushed, one tire hanging awkwardly. "My surveillance cameras captured everything," Trevor said, arms crossed. "You disagree?" Judge Judy asked Daniel. "I do." "So why were you there?" Daniel hesitated, not because he didn't know, but because he clearly hated talking about it. Finally, he answered, "I was picking up my daughter from a construction site. She volunteers nearby after school." Trevor cut in. "That's impossible." Judge Judy held up a finger. "When I want your opinion, I'll ask for it." The room went quiet again. "My truck never touched his," Daniel continued. "So now the security footage is lying," Trevor shot back. "We'll get to that," Judge Judy said. Outside the courtroom, 12-year-old Emma Harper sat quietly with a social worker, holding an old paperback against her chest. She wasn't playing on a phone, wasn't talking. Every few minutes, she glanced at the courtroom doors, waiting. Inside, Daniel kept glancing toward those same doors. "You're distracted," Judge Judy said. "My daughter. She's fine." "I know, but she's the reason I'm here." Judge Judy wrote something on her notepad, but didn't ask what it meant. Not yet. Trevor's attorney played the security footage. A pickup entered the access road, dust filling the screen, and then the image skipped. When it resumed, Trevor's damaged truck already sat against the barrier. "There it is," the attorney said, smiling. Judge Judy said nothing. She replayed it herself twice, then leaned closer. "Interesting." Trevor's smile faded. "This timestamp jumps," she said. "Probably a recording delay," the attorney offered. "Probably isn't evidence." He shifted in his seat. "You've barely defended yourself," Judge Judy told Daniel. "I was waiting for someone to actually ask me what happened." "I'm asking." Daniel took a slow breath. "My daughter called me around 4. She was scared. There were men arguing near the youth center beside the construction site." Trevor objected immediately. "This has nothing to do with my truck." "I'll decide that," Judge Judy said, not even looking at him. Daniel explained that Emma volunteered every Tuesday, helping younger kids with homework at a community learning center that shared an alley with Trevor's construction project. When she called, she sounded terrified. He left work immediately and admitted he drove faster than usual, but not recklessly. When he arrived, workers were yelling, a crowd had gathered, kids were crying. He parked across the street, walked Emma out, and left. I never drove through his site. So the truck fixed itself? Trevor asked. Daniel looked at him directly for the first time. No, it didn't. Judge Judy watched both men closely. One answered fast, the other answered carefully. In her experience, people protecting lies rush, and people protecting painful truths pause. Still, something didn't sit right. The clerk handed her a folder of insurance documents, repair estimates, vehicle registrations, all organized, almost too organized. She flipped a page and stopped. Mr. Maddox, you said this happened at 4:17. Correct. Your insurance claim says 5:03. That's probably paperwork. The paperwork always tells me more than the witnesses do, she said, smiling faintly. Daniel's fingers tightened around the duffel bag's zipper. Judge Judy caught it. What's in the bag? I wasn't planning to open it. Why bring it? Because I hoped I wouldn't need to. Trevor laughed, some dramatic prop. Daniel ignored him. Judge Judy didn't. Mr. Maddox, you seem unusually interested in what's inside. I'm not. You keep talking about it. Trevor looked away. I've learned something over the years, Judge Judy said. When people are afraid of evidence, they usually attack the person carrying it. For the first time all morning, Trevor looked nervous. The courtroom doors opened. The bailiff stepped in. Your Honor, there's another witness. My witness list is complete, Trevor said. This witness isn't here for you, the bailiff said, then lowered his voice. She says she's been looking for Mr. Harper for 11 years. Everyone turned. An elderly woman stood in the doorway, holding a faded military photograph. The color drained from Daniel's face the instant he saw it. You asked to be heard, Judge Judy asked her. Yes, Your Honor, I believe that man saved my son's life. She pointed at Daniel. Trevor looked irritated. His attorney looked confused. Daniel looked like he'd seen a ghost. Bring her forward, Judge Judy said. The woman introduced herself as Elena Brooks. She had nothing to do with Trevor or the truck, not directly. Then why are you here? Judge Judy asked. Because I recognized him. She set the photograph on the table. It showed 4 soldiers standing beside an armored vehicle. One face circled years ago in blue ink. Daniel, much younger. Another soldier stood beside him, smiling. You served together? Judge Judy asked. Daniel nodded, yes. Elena wiped her eyes. That was my son. Trevor sighed. Your Honor, what does this have to do with my truck? If it has nothing to do with your truck, you'll survive another minute, Judge Judy said. A few people smiled. Trevor didn't. What happened? She asked Elena. My son came home alive because of Mr. Harper. Please don't, Daniel said quietly. You never told anyone. I wasn't supposed to. Judge Judy noticed he wasn't denying it. He just didn't want it discussed, and that interested her more. Elena explained that her son had been critically injured overseas years earlier. The official report called it team action, with no names, no details, nothing. But months later, after he recovered, he told her privately, if you ever meet Daniel Harper, thank him. She never got the chance until now. You've kept this quiet all these years, Judge Judy asked Daniel. There were reasons. What reasons? I signed papers. I can't discuss all of it. She accepted that, not because every mystery deserved protection, but because she recognized the difference between secrecy and dishonesty. Trevor laughed, so he's some secret war hero, convenient. Mr. Maddox, Judge Judy said, her tone shifting, you seem determined to insult someone who hasn't insulted you once. I'm questioning credibility. No, you're distracting from yours. She replayed the construction footage again, stopping seconds before the timestamp skipped. A small silver SUV briefly entered the frame, then vanished. Whose vehicle is that? I don't know, Trevor said. It could belong to anyone. It could, she turned to the attorney. Did your client provide every camera angle? Only the relevant ones. Who decided what was relevant? Silence. There were 6 cameras, Daniel said. You've been there before, Trevor snapped. My company repaired wiring there 2 weeks earlier. So you know the layout. How many blind spots? Almost none. If there are 6 cameras, Judge Judy said to Trevor, why did I receive footage from only one? The others malfunctioned, the attorney answered. All 5. That's what we were told. Before or after this lawsuit? After. Outside, Emma rubbed the small bronze compass hanging from her backpack, worn smooth from years of touching it. I just want Dad, she told the social worker. Back inside, Judge Judy noticed Daniel watching the window again. Your daughter seems very important to you. He smiled for the first time. She's everything. You've raised her alone. For 9 years. What happened to her mother? She passed away. I'm sorry. So am I. No theatrics, just quiet truth. Judge Judy respected that. If we're finished discussing his personal life, Trevor said. We are finished when I say we are finished. The bailiff handed her a folded sheet. She read it twice. Interesting. The court just received certified copies of your insurance investigation. We weren't informed, the attorney said. You are now. The letter showed the claim had been suspended over possible inconsistencies. You neglected to mention this, she told Trevor. It wasn't important. An insurance company accusing you of inconsistencies isn't important. It is to me, she said. She noticed something else. 2 repair estimates, nearly $11,000 apart. One said repairable, one said totaled. Which is it? Trevor looked at his attorney. Neither answered. The truth has remarkable consistency, Judge Judy said. Lies usually require revisions. Daniel's hand drifted to the duffel bag again. You still haven't opened it. I know. Will you? If I have to. What determines that? If he keeps lying. Trevor laughed. Now we're threatening people. No, Daniel said. I'm giving you one last chance. The calm in his voice caught everyone off guard, and Trevor looked away first. Judge Judy asked the bailiff to contact the construction company's project manager. Trevor objected that he was unavailable. I didn't ask you, she said. 20 minutes later, Michael Torres walked in wearing a hard hat, still holding rolled blueprints. I came as soon as they called. Were you supervising the site the day of the alleged accident? Yes. Did Mr. Harper's truck ever enter your construction site? Michael looked at Trevor, then Daniel, then took a breath. No, Your Honor, he never drove onto our site. Trevor's attorney closed his notebook. Then Michael added, and that's not the biggest lie you've been told today. The room fell into stunned silence. You have my attention, Judge Judy said. I've supervised sites for 23 years, Michael said, pointing at the monitor. That video isn't the whole story. Trevor shot up. Objection. Sit down. I said. Sit. He lowered himself back down. Mr. Harper parked legally across the street, Michael said. He never crossed our barriers. He walked over after hearing children crying near the youth center. Everything matched Daniel's account exactly. You've insisted Mr. Harper drove through your site, Judge Judy said to Trevor. That's what I believed. No, Michael said, you knew better. The truck was damaged nearly 15 minutes after Mr. Harper had already left, Michael continued. What happened 15 minutes later? Judge Judy asked. A subcontractor backed a skid steer into Mr. Maddox's truck. That's a lie, Trevor said. Michael handed over maintenance logs, incident reports, and inspection records, all carrying the same date, time, and employee signature. So there was an accident, Judge Judy said, just not involving Mr. Harper, and these reports were created that same afternoon. Yes. Interesting, she said, looking at Trevor, who stared at the table. His attorney whispered urgently. Trevor whispered back. Whenever clients suddenly become interested in their lawyers, Judge Judy said, it's rarely because the case is improving. A ripple of laughter moved through the gallery. Trevor wasn't laughing. If this report exists, she asked Michael, why wasn't it submitted? Because I was instructed not to. By whom? He looked at Trevor. Mr. Maddox. Trevor exploded. He's lying because I fired him. Yes, Michael said. 3 days after I refused to change the incident report. Trevor's attorney stood. Your Honor, I'd like a brief recess. For what purpose? My client needs to discuss. No, he had months to discuss the truth. Daniel sat perfectly still, not celebrating, just watching. Judge Judy noticed he looked relieved rather than angry, as if someone else had finally carried part of the burden. You've known this all along, she said. Yes. Why didn't you tell me? I had no proof, I hoped. Hope is not evidence. No, but honest people usually find each other. Trevor slammed his hand on the table. This is ridiculous. Then explain the report. I've never seen it. Michael pulled out another document. You signed it. Trevor stared at the matching signature. That signature was copied, he said. That excuse is arguing very quickly today, Judge Judy said. A clerk hurried in with a sealed envelope delivered by courier. Inside was a flash drive with a note about additional surveillance footage recovered from a backup server. The room went still. Trevor looked pale. The new footage was higher quality, wider angle, with a timestamp that never skipped. It showed Daniel parking across the street exactly as he described, Emma running to him, the two of them walking away. No speeding, no collision. So far, Judge Judy said, Mr. Harper has told the truth. The video continued. 10 minutes passed, then 15. A skid steer backed into Trevor's parked truck, the operator never seeing it behind him. Workers rushed over. Michael appeared on screen pointing at the damage, writing on a clipboard. Then Trevor arrived, looked at the damage, looked around and motioned everyone closer. No audio, but he pointed toward the street, toward the direction Daniel had left, shaking his finger repeatedly. Michael lowered his head. One worker threw his hands up. Another reluctantly nodded. No one needed to speak. The footage said enough. This is usually the part where people apologize, Judge Judy said. Trevor opened his mouth. Nothing came out. She wasn't watching him anymore, though. She was watching Daniel, because even after being proven innocent, he still hadn't touched the duffel bag. Whatever secret was inside was bigger than this lawsuit. Mr. Harper, earlier you told me you hoped you wouldn't have to open that bag. Daniel looked down at it, then back at her. I did. I don't think this case is finished. No, Your Honor, it isn't. He reached for the zipper, then stopped. Before I open this, there's one person who needs to come into this courtroom. Who? He looked toward the hallway. My daughter, and once she hears what's inside this bag, her entire life is going to change. No one spoke. Judge Judy had seen people hide bank records, marriages, businesses, even children, but never a man more frightened to reveal the truth than to defend himself. Bring your daughter in, she said. Emma stepped inside beside the social worker, holding her compass in one hand and her paperback in the other. She smiled the moment she saw Daniel. Dad. It's okay, sweetheart. She hugged him tightly. Trevor watched, visibly impatient. You seem uncomfortable around decent parenting, Mr. Maddox, Judge Judy said. A few people laughed. Once Emma sat beside her father, Judge Judy asked gently, do you know what's in that bag? I know some of it, Emma said. I heard you crying one night, Dad. Daniel lowered his eyes. He hadn't realized she'd heard him. You may open it, Judge Judy said. Daniel unzipped the duffel. No weapons, no cash, nothing dramatic. Just a folded American flag, worn notebooks, military records, old photographs, a small metal box, and a thick, unopened envelope. You've carried this every day. Every day. He picked up the flag. This belonged to my best friend. He glanced at Elena, her son. I thought he survived, Judge Judy said. He survived the mission, Daniel said. He didn't survive what happened afterward. He explained that they'd both struggled after coming home, that his friends smiled around everyone but blamed himself in private for the men they couldn't save. One night, he asked Daniel for a promise. If anything ever happened to him, make sure his daughter never felt abandoned. The room went completely still. His little girl, Judge Judy asked. Daniel put a hand on Emma's shoulder. She's right here. Every head turned toward Emma. What? She said. I'm not Emma's biological father, Daniel said quietly. Complete silence. Even Trevor forgot about the lawsuit. What do you mean? Emma asked, eyes wide. The day your mom passed away, I became your father. You've always been my father, she whispered. And nothing about today changes that. When were you planning to tell her? Judge Judy asked. When she turned 18, I wanted her to choose whether she wanted to know her biological family. I already chose, Emma said, squeezing his hand. You're my dad. There wasn't a dry eye in the gallery. Elena, you knew, Judge Judy asked. My son asked Daniel to protect her. He believed certain people would come after his life insurance and survivor benefits. And did they? They tried, Daniel said. He opened the metal box, old guardianship papers, threatening letters, certified mail receipts. Years earlier, distant relatives had fought for custody of Emma, not to raise her, but for the benefits that came with it. Daniel had fought every challenge and won, never telling Emma why. You raised someone else's child alone for 9 years, Judge Judy said, and never touched a penny beyond what legally belonged to her. Every benefit went into her education account. She examined the bank statements, trust documents, and college savings records. Every dollar accounted for. I don't impress easily, she said. You've impressed me. Trevor stood. This has absolutely nothing to do with this case. I think it does, Judge Judy said. This man had every opportunity to take money that wasn't his. He didn't. You had every opportunity to tell the truth. You didn't. His attorney touched his arm. We need to stop. No, Trevor said. I've done nothing wrong. I was hoping you wouldn't say that, Judge Judy said. The clerk returned with another certified record. Judge Judy's expression hardened as she read it. This isn't just about a false lawsuit anymore, she said. It appears someone attempted to file a second insurance claim on the same truck. The courtroom erupted in whispers. She struck her gavel once. Order. Then, to Trevor, this signature isn't yours. Trevor stared at the page, then turned towards someone in the back row. Judge Judy caught the glance and followed it. A man in a gray suit stood and started for the exit. Bailiff, ask our guest to remain seated. The man froze. Daniel recognized him instantly, and his calm expression vanished. Judge Judy read the new certified document, then looked up. Mr. Maddox, I've been trying to figure out one thing all morning. Why a man with your resources would risk everything over one insurance claim. I don't know what you're talking about. I do. She turned the page so everyone could see the heading. Certified Insurance Fraud Investigation Report. The insurance company completed its review this morning, she said. The damage to your truck matched the construction incident in the recovered footage. Someone intentionally removed part of the original video before submitting the claim. She glanced at the man in the gray suit. Richard Sloan was paid consulting fees after introducing Mr. Maddox to a company that specializes in maximizing disputed insurance claims. That company withdrew after discovering altered evidence, which explains why this lawsuit suddenly appeared. Richard lowered his head. This case was never about repair costs, Judge Judy said. It was about finding someone else to blame after the insurance company refused to pay. I made mistakes, Trevor said. No mistakes are forgetting your keys or writing the wrong date. This took planning, selective video, conflicting paperwork, false statements, and a lawsuit against an innocent man. Trevor looked at Daniel. I didn't think it would go this far. It already had, Daniel said. You dragged my daughter into it. You made her think she might lose the only parent she's ever known. Trevor couldn't meet his eyes. Mr. Harper, Judge Judy said, you've shown remarkable restraint today. You never interrupted, never exaggerated, and every statement you made was supported by evidence. You carried documents for years that proved your character, never expecting them to rescue you. I just hoped the truth would, Daniel said. It did, she picked up her ruling sheet. Your claim against Mr. Harper is dismissed in its entirety. You are awarded nothing. Trevor stared silently at the bench. Mr. Harper has demonstrated measurable financial loss, defending himself against a claim built on false evidence. I'm awarding him the maximum this court allows on his counterclaim for documented expenses. Daniel blinked, not expecting that. Mr. Maddox's money can replace a truck. It cannot restore credibility. You walked in believing appearances would outweigh facts. They never do. She turned to Daniel. Your daughter will remember many things about today. I hope the one she remembers most is that her father never stopped telling the truth. Thank you, Your Honor. She looked at Richard Sloane. I'm forwarding today's exhibits to the appropriate authorities for whatever review they consider necessary. I make no finding beyond this courtroom, but the documents deserve a closer look. Richard quietly gathered his things and left. As the hearing ended, Emma slipped her hand into Daniel's. Dad. Yes. Can we go home? That sounds perfect. She looked at the unopened envelope. When I'm 18, we'll read it together. If that's what you want. She hugged him. I already know what it probably says. My first dad trusted you, and he was right. Elena approached and wrapped them both in a gentle embrace. I spent years wondering if my son made the right choice. Today I got my answer. He made me a promise, Daniel said. No, Elena said softly. He gave Emma a father. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited, but Daniel declined every microphone. He knelt beside Emma instead. What do you want for dinner? She laughed. Can we get burgers? Absolutely. They walked away together, not as the people at the center of a courtroom spectacle, but as a father and daughter finally free from a lie that had followed them for years. Behind them, Trevor left through another door. No cameras chased him, no one applauded. The confidence that had filled him that morning was gone, replaced by the quiet consequences of his own choices. Justice hadn't arrived with dramatic speeches. It arrived through patience, evidence, and the simple refusal to abandon the truth. If this story reminded you that honesty is worth fighting for, leave a comment with the word justice. And subscribe for more unforgettable courtroom stories where the truth always has the final word, because lies can survive for a while, but they rarely survive the courtroom.